Alawis. I mean,
Now,
like I even was talking to a Syrian guy on TikTok Live. I told him, listen, it's one thing to go after people attacking you. It's another thing to kill unarmed men and not take prisoners and then slaughter their families.
you know what? I think they knew what they were getting with this guy. And, I mean, his past, I mean, he had a $10 million price on his head. And, I know they were trying to see, let's wait a few days and see what happens. You know, let's see if he goes back to his, actually what we expected he would do. And now the Alawis are kind of borderline Shiites, right?
They're considered heretics because they believe Imam Ali was Allah incarnate, basically. So they're not exactly considered Muslims by Shias either, but they do derive from the Shia religion. That is true.
Mm-hmm. How many of them are there?
Check really quick.
Yeah, I could look it up here too.
So they are a minority, but I don't know the exact number. They make up around 10% of Syria's population.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
That used to be the amount of Christians that there were, about 10%. But yeah, sadly now it's only 1% Christian in Syria. Like the amount of Christians in Syria, 300,000 is even less than the Druzi. The Druzi, there's like 700,000 of them.
There's 700,000, yeah. I heard they were asking Israel for help.
That is true. Syrian Druze don't like Israel that much, but they said they would rather work with Israel than ever work with Ahmed al-Shara. Because they said we have two evils, but one evil will kick us out of our homes, take our wives and daughters. So they decided to work with Israel.
Yeah. I don't know what to think, man. It's like every single day you wake up expecting a new map, you know, like a new map in the Middle East. I mean, countries are changing so fast, you know, and I mean, this is a huge country, Syria. It's the biggest country there, you know, bigger. Yeah, I don't know. It's very, you know, it's like um, Christians cannot, Islam cannot allow Christians, when it's in its truest form, cannot have Christians in their midst. You know, they start getting rid. That's what happened in Iraq. It's what happened in, you know, in the Gaza Strip. It's what, and it seems like what's happening in Syria now. You know, that the Christians are the ones that, you know, that take the brunt of the abuse. And
being attacked by Islam. It's like Christian, like minorities didn't suffer as much under Saddam Hussein as they did under ISIS and Libya, Gaddafi. They didn't have slavery. Like there weren't so many terrorists in Iraq and in Syria. There weren't these massacres happening all the time. Like the Shah. These guys were bad, but this is even worse. Like I warned. I was, because I usually go live on TikTok because it's the easiest platform for me to communicate with people. I had Syrians accuse me of being Israeli, of being an Assadist. One of them even said I'm probably 4 generations disconnected from Syria. Like what? I'm like, no, me and my family are the first in my entire family to ever move to the U.S.
Yeah, I tell you, it's yeah, I'm not sure what to think, man. It's like it's so much is happening so fast, and with this guy, Ashada, it's what everybody expected would happen, and it's happening, and
I have a friend. He told me to name my dog after Ahmed al-Shara because he said, "Oh well," because in the Middle East we have this thing where, like, if you name somebody after a dog, it's basically to insult that person. I said, "No, I don't want to insult my dog."
yeah, dang, wow, yeah, it's like yeah, I have friends, from Syria and stuff, and they're just telling me that it's really much worse than it's much worse than what we were seeing on the news. And I know CNN always tries to cuddle up to the terrorists, and
They gave him pronouns when they interviewed him. I'm not lying.
what was that?
If you look at when they interviewed.
I can't hear you, bro.
Sorry, I had a call. Sorry, I'm back.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah.
CNN.
Something I think I was gonna mention about, like, CNN. Yeah. Well, when they first interviewed Abu Muhammad al-Jolani,
Yes.
They well, back when Ahmed al-Shara went by Julani, they actually gave him pronouns in his, like, for him to try and make him seem more modern and secular. They said, look, he goes by he, him. I'm like,
really?
I don't care if he goes by he, him, they, them, ze, zer. Just why the heck was he part of Al-Qaeda? And why are you supporting him?
Really? My goodness.
I don't give a damn about his pronouns. Like, that's literally how far they went to try and make him seem like a good guy. I'm like, that's what makes him a good guy? And they say that because now he wears a blazer and a suit and trimmed his beard, that means he's a good leader for Syria. By that logic, Bashar al-Assad was the most amazing leader in the world. He wore a suit 24/7, always clean shaved, like 3 languages. Like, you see, he was a doctor there. Does that mean that he was a perfect leader? No. But somehow for Zulani, it does mean he's a good leader.
Yeah. I think, and then Germany went and sent that lady that he wouldn't shake her hand. And,
yeah, that's true.
That they're trying to whitewash.
You want them to shake his hand, and now you're realizing how stupid that was.
Well, they maybe they'll see that, what, this guy is exactly what we thought he is. And but is this guy going to go along with Erdogan? Okay.
So I would say he is going to go along with Erdogan. And the thing is that, like for years, this guy didn't talk the way he does now. When you hear him in his interview on CNN, like, me and my father were talking about it. This guy has been trained. This guy has probably spent the past few years in Turkey being trained to talk like a politician now.
Yeah,
to make it
that's what I
seem
thought.
like he's someone who, like, this guy's been trained in Turkey for years.
Mhm. And did the U.S. Take away that $10 million price on his head?
They did. After he got bounty. And HD at the Sham is no longer counted as a terrorist group like it once was. And this wasn't even that long ago that they were counted as a terrorist group. There was tweets from U.S. State Department and stuff like that saying, yeah, these guys are terrorists. There's $10 million bounty on his head. If you see him, contact us. Like, yeah.
Wow. Well, I wouldn't expect the U.S. to have done that, And here's on the New York Times: as people are abducted on unpatrolled streets, Syrians demand better protection. Wow.
Syrians in Germany, non-Sunni Muslims, everything like that, like all the non-Muslims like that were in Germany protesting about the Syrian and Turkish embassies in Germany about what's going on in Syria. Apparently, they're planning to do. There was a Facebook post I saw. They're Syrians in the U.S. now in New York. They're planning to go to like the Syrian embassy and protest as well, or not Syrian embassy, like what was left of the Syrian embassy. Basically, they want to go and protest.
Wow.
Even in Syria and Temeshli, where there's a lot of Christians, especially Ashuri Christians, my people. Here's the thing. I feel like Muslims who are part of the Al-Shara government literally making videos saying, the more you Christians raise your cross, we will go after you and all this stuff. But when I see the Christians protesting in Syria, they're saying, Islamu Masihiyye, kulna wahid Suriyye. Like, Christians and Muslims, we're all one, we're all Syria. Like, that's literally what they're saying the entire time.
Yeah, well, you see, that's the thing, is that the Christians in the Middle East, they try so hard to fit in, but unfortunately, Islam, they'll use them for, as a fig leaf, to cover for their, what they really believe. But then when they're done with them, they'll turn against them, just like they did in Iraq, like they did in Syria, and like they did in so many other Muslim countries, that they turn against the Christians. And if it wasn't for the U.S. and Europe, I don't know what would happen to the Christians in Muslim countries.
Honestly, like the only safe place left in the Middle East for Christians is probably Lebanon. Lebanon's the only country where the Muslim population has gone down, and that was only after Hassan Nasrallah died. A lot of the Shias left, and Qatar went back into power, and now they finally have a Christian president in power again. They're finally able to elect a president, Joseph Aoun.
And where did they go if they left?
Probably fled to Iraq and Iran.
Wow.
Some of them probably also went to go help some of the Alawis fight against the new Syrian government.
Wow. So Hezbollah.
Or at least what's left of them.
Yeah, very unpredictable situation there. It's like every day, it's like you wake up and you just don't know what to think, And if they get a hold of some dangerous weapons, I know Israel went into Syria to try to, deactivate, or disable the chemical weapon programs and stuff. And
my one issue with like Israel is that they were bombing Temeshli, which is a Christian town which doesn't have like military stuff like that. Temeshli was just an Assyrian place, which is the city. It's been for thousands of years inhabited by Christians and like that. And this is my issue with Turkey and like that. Because if you look at some, like even the former IDF chief admitted that they were supplying the rebels back in 2019 with weaponry and medical supplies and funds. Israel might have changed its mind now, but I mean, they should have stopped after 2012. Because in 2012, in 2011, 2012, the rebels were good. These were men who had left Bashar al-Assad's military to help free Syria from a dictatorship. But in 2013, they started working with Jabhat al-Nusra. And in 2014, it just became straight up ISIS. There even used to be Christians, part of the Syrian rebel groups. But after 2012, they defected because they didn't want to be part of an Islamist group. Mm-hmm. Most of them went to form their own groups, like the SDF. Some rejoined Bashar al-Assad's military. So yeah, that's how bad it goes. Like,
what is it? What was the last thing you said? What was the last thing you said there? I didn't hear. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like it was just terrible. Anyways, I have to go. It was nice talking to you, Hussein.
Yeah, you take care, and hope, pray for some peace in that area, man. It's like it's really scary, man. So, well, you have a good day, my friend, and we'll talk to you later. God bless you too, bud.